Yo, what's going on, you introverts? It's Nick Daniels here, coming at you live, man, yet again. And we're back at the miniseries, man. I'm pumping out these videos like it's no tomorrow with these Reddit dating fails. So today, yet again, we are in the r slash ask Reddit, and a post from 2 years ago about biggest online dating fails. So without any further ado, we're gonna get into it. I think we'll try to do a double header here and see if we can read two. So today we're going to be looking at one from Honcho_eat. All right, with it's a picture of like Patrick Star. Yeah, what is that? That's funny. All right. Let's get out of his profile there. That's pretty grimy. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I had not read this, but I saw that it was at least like a paragraph, so I thought it would be interesting to commentate over. I went on a Tinder date with a chick one time, and her profile gave off no red flags, and the way she messaged and texted also gave no red flags. It's interesting that he says the second line, the way she texted, but that can give out red flags. Oddly enough, it's not very common in my opinion. I think a profile is a lot more. I think through a profile, you'll see a red flag, and through something they'll say to you, but not usually how they say it. So that's interesting. I mean, maybe, yeah, it could be interesting. I mean, if they can't spell worth a darn, I mean, it would be slightly alarming because, like, I mean, I know it's texting, but you should probably try to have a little grammar. So I don't know. I don't have specific examples. I can't think about that stuff right now. So let's get into it. Okay, so I get to the bar, and she looks a little different, but I let it slide. So, 2 comments. So, he's possibly been catfished in a very minor way, and I respect his choice of where to go. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think a bar is fantastic. And here's why. Because it gets the, it's like the icing off the cake, man. It's just, you go have a beer, you unwind, right? First dates, I'm a little antsy. I'm a little awkward, a little jittery, you know what I mean? A little shy, a little reserved. And think about the woman. You know, if she's like, say, a pretty big introvert, she's going to be, so the beer just, that helps. And it's a comfortable location. It's a public location. Especially now with the whole COVID-19 BS, you get a text to get in half the time or whatever. They know you're there. So I'd be just saying if you get murdered. And it's a public location, so if you want to just bounce, you can. The drink doesn't always take too long, and if you're having a good time, you can get a second one, right? So there you go. So you can just have the one beer and skip. You can have a bite to eat. You don't have to. Bite to eat's not always the best idea on a first date, but hey, you want to save a little money. So that's interesting. But yeah, so he might be catfish in a slight way, and the only reason I suggest that is because she looks slightly different. So it could have been like an older picture. And I've seen that before as well. She begins to tell me she forgot to take her bipolar meds, so she couldn't drink too much, or she shouldn't drink too much. She then proceeds to have 5 Long Islands by the end of the night. Okay, so a Long Island, that's I thought that was an iced tea, like a Long Island iced tea, but I'm assuming there's alcohol in that. 5 is a bit more than I would expect. 2, I would say 2 drinks is pretty good for, hey, let's go for a couple drinks. Literally in that what I just said. A couple drinks is 2. A little bit more than that, to me, can kind of produce a bit of a red flag. And if they've already had drinks before showing up, that can also show if they're too nervous. So if you show up, hey, I already had a couple beer, it can show maybe that she has some anxiety issues with going on this date, which can happen sometimes, not all the time, by just not talking for a long period of time, like a lot of women will like to do, and just trying to meet up sooner than later. And it can also be the opposite because the build-up is too much. I'm no expert. I'm just saying what I've experienced. Okay. She tells me she wants to come back to my place, so we go back. That's interesting, okay? I'm going to leave it there. We watch a little TV, and her phone rings. Okay, so they might be cuddling up on the couch. They're just watching some Dragon's Den, a little bar rescue. She silences it, and I didn't think too much of it. And then it rings again and again. So she did mute the phone. Okay. So I finally ask, and she says, that's my old man, but that's my old man. He couldn't hold me down. I don't know what that means. But, like, maybe he's trying to get a hold of her. Okay. In some manner, like, about something, I don't know. Like, I'm assuming it's not the date, but I don't know what that means. And she's like, he couldn't hold me down. The hell is that? And I also think it's respectful that he didn't ask. He waited a few times and he was like, okay, hey, like, who's calling you? Like, maybe you should get that. That's good. That's respectful. Okay. I'm sorry, I just lost where I was for a second. Okay, I tell her okay, and I'm not the one to get in between people. That's cool. I like that. So I offer to buy her an Uber home. Oh, okay. Okay, one sec. We'll come back to that. Okay, so I offer the Uber home. Okay, that's nice. She whines for a while, but I was done with her in this date. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So we're not. I was gonna do 2 and 1. We're not gonna do 2 and 1. I'm gonna talk too long about this one because there's just so many things I want to talk about here. So first of all, the fact that he offered her an Uber home, that is very respectful. In a couple ways, in my opinion, because I almost never, ever drive someone on a first date. There's just a real security issue there. Like, she might not feel comfortable, and I respect that. I don't feel comfortable taking the lift on the first date all the time either, because you're getting in a car with a stranger. They've just met today. They've gone back to his place, so there should be some comfortability there. I don't know if he has a car. It doesn't seem to be explained. So if he didn't, it makes sense that he would say, hey, I'll get you an Uber. That's fair. But the problem here is that he says he was done with the date, and it doesn't really explain why. Is it like the harassing phone calls from apparently the father? I don't know. But you really have to have a definitive point. You have to say, hey, listen, it was really great meeting you. It's getting late. Hey, let me get that Uber for you, right? You really got to lay that down, and especially if you're at your place, because she's like, the fact that I'm pretty sure she wanted to go to his place. So you got to lay down the law, because she might be expecting something that you don't know, which is, a little coitus. So interesting. But yeah, you got to lay that down. That's why I like the bar, because you can just leave. Word of advice, don't ever go to your place on the first date. I mean, if you were going to do it, you meet somewhere first and then do it like this. Don't just go straight to your place. Bad idea. Like the farm one. Okay. She wants for a while, but yeah, like I said, I was done with her in this date. That comes off really, really straight though. The Uber eventually pulls up and I walk her outside, and what a coincidence. Here comes her old man. Oh, okay, hold on. Okay, so he didn't call, he's there, and he walked her to the Uber, which was respectful, because he was probably going to try to get a kiss, maybe. But it does sound like he officially ended the date. The guy comes at me trying to get in my face, and she starts yelling at him, calling him a psycho for tracking her phone. All right. You can put an app on your phone, to do that? So I wonder if that's what he did. They start arguing pretty bad, and I slowly start backing away. That's actually really smart. He didn't even get involved. He was like, this isn't my problem. Okay, started backing away. Within 5 minutes, they were making out in the back of the Uber, which, by the way, I got charged $15 for making him wait. Ouch! And he eventually told the Uber to go, and he was going to drive her home. And there was that. I went back inside, hit my bong, and watched Rick and Morty with my cat. So it really didn't faze him very much. Man, so they started making out? They were making out in the back of the Uber, but then the Uber just went. So he was in the Uber, made the Uber wait, made out in the Uber? That sounds made up. Why would they do that? And apparently it was her father? I don't know, man. Okay, so I don't know. I think I ranted on that one a little bit too long, but I gotta call BS, man. I think the end of the story is completely fabricated. That doesn't sound like... I'm saying, like, they were arguing, but they were just making out. So I don't think that was a father. That was definitely, like, maybe an older man that she potentially had a relationship with. But I'm not saying that incest and stuff can't happen, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me to sit in the back of an Uber and make out with apparently your father who you were arguing with. Okay. Overall, strange story, but very interesting, and I'm glad I got to give that a skim. So thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna do this for a little while, man. We're gonna keep moving on to the next one for a little bit because I'm really enjoying these for some reason. So take it easy.